Is Edmond, Oklahoma the best suburb of Oklahoma City? My name is Kinsley and I'm a local realtor here in Edmond, Oklahoma and its surrounding areas. If you're thinking about moving, I'd love to be able to connect with you and potentially help you on your move. I have people all the time who reach out to me and will say, hey, we watched your videos, it was so helpful, but we already moved. And I don't know if maybe they just missed the fact that I'm a realtor, but I am, and I would love to be able to help you if you are thinking about moving. Now, I get it. If your aunt lives here, she's a realtor, you're just watching my videos for information, that's fine. Use your aunt. I don't want to ruin a friendship or a family relationship. But if you are moving and you don't know anybody, I'd love to be able to represent you and help you. You can find all the ways to reach me in the description box below. Now, in this video, I want to talk about, is Edmond the best suburb of Oklahoma City? That honestly depends on your situation, a very wide number of things, but I do love Edmond. I've helped tons of people move to the Oklahoma City metro. And a little secret is not all of them choose Edmond. And I work with people outside of Edmond. I love the whole Oklahoma City metro, but I do primarily work in Edmond. And I want to talk just about Edmond and a couple other suburbs to help you decide if Edmond might be the place for you. So one of the reasons that people love Edmond and choose Edmond over maybe some of the other suburbs is the schools. This is probably one of the biggest reasons. A lot of people decide to move to Oklahoma because of the affordability of housing and other things, but then when they're really honing in on what suburb they want to be in, they decide that Edmond is the one for them. Now, there are schools in other districts. You have Piedmont, Yukon, Mustang. You have lots of districts around that also have very highly rated schools, but a lot of people find that Edmonds are some of the higher rated ones, and therefore they decide to move to Edmond for that reason. Now, as you're looking at Edmond, you have Deer Creek schools on the western side and Edmond Public Schools central to eastern side of Edmond. Again, both of these really are highly rated. I have some clients who move and are really open and they find a house they love in Deer Creek and they move and their kids go to Deer Creek and it's great. I have some that really hone in on Edmond schools, and honestly, I have had people tell me great things about all of them. I actually used to be a teacher and I taught middle school at the Deer Creek Middle School. And I can say just from my experience of teaching there that I really loved the district. I loved the administration at the school, the teachers I worked with. I didn't like teaching, but I really did come to appreciate the district as a whole. The superintendent is somebody that I have got to come across in multiple situations and has been really just pleasant and enjoyable. And so I do know that personal experience, Deer Creek schools, I do think has a lot going for them. Same thing with Edmond schools. Now, of course, every school is going to have its thing, right? You can look at the Facebook posts and pages and see that there are parents unhappy with certain teachers and certain things within the district. And that's going to happen, I think, everywhere you are. But generally speaking, Edmond schools do tend to be very highly rated. Now, again, there are schools around the Oklahoma City metro that also have very highly rated schools. But generally speaking, the people I work with, moving to Edmond, schools is a big thing for them. Now, also with that, as you are looking at property taxes, oftentimes people are surprised by the property taxes here, and because they tend to be, depending on where you're moving from, a lot of times people find that property taxes are more expensive here in Edmond. And one of the reasons for that is for schools. If you live in Edmond schools or especially Deer Creek schools, you are going to see some higher property taxes. Now, it's not going to be a huge shift from the Oklahoma City schools, but it is going to be more expensive, and you're going to be able to see that when you are looking at a home. If you have specific questions about what that might look like in your price range, please feel free to reach out to me. But taxes is one thing that sometimes takes people off guard, and a lot of the reasons for that is the schools. Another reason that people love Edmond and are drawn to Edmond is because of safety ratings, and that is a big thing for people as they're moving. They don't know an area, they start looking up scores, and you can do this too if you go to niche.com or greatschools.com, and you will find that Edmond as a whole tends to be very highly rated in safety. As you're looking at crime rates, they tend to be lower in Edmond. That's not to say things don't happen. Of course, they happen everywhere. But generally speaking, they tend to be better rated here in Edmond. Another reason people are drawn to Edmond is because there's a lot to do. Now, there's, again, not to say that other suburbs don't. If you look at Norman, for instance, Norman has a ton. You have the University of Oklahoma in Norman. You've got tons of shopping. You know, there's things to do in other suburbs. However, Edmond really does have a lot to offer as well. There are tons of restaurants, tons of shopping. You have the University of Central Oklahoma, which is not nearly the same scale of University of Oklahoma, but you do have that college feel if you want. I often don't really experience that college town feel unless I'm going into downtown Edmond, because the University of Central Oklahoma is in downtown. But it's typically if I go downtown during the middle of the week, I'll see college students in coffee shops studying and that sort of thing, but it does not have the college town feel that some others would have. Edmond has tons of parks. Some of my favorites are Mitch Park and Hafer Park. Those are probably the two I go to the most, just as I like to walk and I like to be outside, and those are two parks that I really love going to. There's also a lot of just fun community events within Edmond. Herd on Herd happens through a good chunk of the year. I think it's March through October. And so just fun little events like that we get to experience here in Edmond, I think really adds to the culture and just the fun environment that is Edmond. One benefit I would say of Edmond, and really this is gonna be true for a lot of suburbs, is just the proximity to Oklahoma City. As you have Oklahoma City and all the suburbs surrounding it, you really can get into Oklahoma City pretty quickly. I'll say Edmond because it has I-35 on the eastern side, it has Portland Avenue or 74 on the western side. Oftentimes these roads can make getting into Oklahoma City pretty seamless, pretty easy. I know I-35 can sometimes have traffic, but really for the most part, getting down into Oklahoma City, unless you're going at the busiest times of the day, is very easy. I have lived in other states. I often travel, and when I see other towns and just how bad the traffic is, and then I come back here, I am very pleasantly reminded that the traffic here is very, very minimal. And so I think going into Oklahoma City is pretty easy. Again, probably from many of the suburbs, but as I often will do it from Edmond, I can say that it's really not bad at all. So if you're asking the question, should I move to Edmond? Should I look at other suburbs? Like I mentioned, I have helped people move to many suburbs. I've helped people move to Mustang and Tuttle, which really is kind of about an hour. Blanchard, there was a season, I don't know, a couple years ago where I really helped a lot of people kind of move to those outskirt towns, a little more rural, a little more affordable. And if that's kind of what you're thinking, you want to kind of get a little farther out of town, I think that there are great places around Oklahoma City that would fit the needs that you're looking for. But like I mentioned, I do live in Edmond. I primarily work in Edmond, and I think that Edmond has a lot to offer. So again, thanks for watching to the end of this video. If you're thinking about moving, please feel free to reach out to me. You can check the description box for how to do that, and I will catch you guys in my next video.